appointment has now defined
Hello and welcome to TOS TV, your digital-first Pan-African network. I am Nkamian John, and this is TOS News Track. We start with the story where Nigeria's National Assembly has announced that plenary will not resume Tuesday, January 26, as earlier announced. In a statement released by the clerk to the National Assembly, Architect Ojo Amos, and made available to the media, the Assembly will now resume Tuesday, February 9, 2020. Amos said that the deferment of resumption was to enable lawmakers who are members of the All Progressive Congress APC to partake in the party's membership registration and revalidation exercise scheduled to begin on Monday, January 25th, 2020. I beg your pardon, 2021. The two chambers on December 21st adjourned plenary till January 26, 2021 to enable the lawmakers to observe the Christmas and New Year holidays. While Nigerians bask in the euphoria of what promises a robust relationship between Nigeria and the United States of America under new President Joe Biden, a former U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, John Campbell, and some other prominent persons have said cases of human rights abuse in Nigeria can hamper the partnership if not addressed. Campbell, alongside an associate fellow at the Chatham House, London, Matthew Page, and the Director Africa Program Center for Strategic and International Studies, a leading U.S. think tank, Jude Devermont, said that while the relationship between the two countries might improve in many respects, abuse by the military and policy abuse by the government could pose a problem. Many Nigerians have expressed optimism that Biden's administration will mean well for the country as against what obtained during the tenure of his predecessor, Donald Trump, who imposed a ban on immigrant visa. Biden has within 24 hours lifted the ban, though Trump lifted the embargo on arms sale to Nigeria as imposed by his predecessor, Barack Obama. He reportedly referred to Nigeria as a shithole country and was quoted to have referred to President Muhammadu Buhari as lifeless. Meanwhile, and amid rising hopes of a better relationship, Campbell noted that the Biden administration would respond positively to African policies that promote a democratic trajectory shaped by the rule of law, with scrupulous observations of human rights. Campbell said he hoped that the Biden administration would respond positively to Nigeria's request for assistance in strengthening the judicial system and the rule of law, much closer cooperation and coordination on matters of public health and strengthening education, particularly the Girl Child program. Now, moving on to other developments, latest reports have it that Nigeria's Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, is involved in the controversy of the Fulani herdsmen and the people of Igangan in Oyo State, southwest Nigeria, as he has allegedly ordered the arrest of Yoruba activist Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, over the quit notice he issued to herdsmen in the state. Now, BBC Hausa quoted presidential spokesman Garba Shehu as confirming the arrest order on Igboho during his program on Friday, as he explained that the IGP informed him of his directive to the Oyo Commissioner of Police, Ngozi Onadeko, to arrest Igboho and transfer him to Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Igboho had asked herdmen in Igangan in Igbarakpa, not local government area of Oyo State, to leave within 7 days following reports of the killing of some Oyo citizens. He had blamed herders and Fulanis, including Salihu Karidi, the Sherikin Fulani, of being behind the rising insecurity in the area. Although Governor Sheyi Makinde had directed nobody directed that nobody reserved the right to order anyone out of the state and giving security agencies a marching order to ensure that peace reigns in the area. Igboho insists that he would fight for his people with the last spill of his blood. The stand of Governor Makinde has made many Yoruba indigents across political divide to label him a traitor who will be dealt with the Yoruba way. And the Arewa Consultative Forum, in a related development, has called on the federal government to stop the attack on Fulanis in Igbarakpa area of Oyo State now, or it will instigate counterattacks in the north. The ACF, in a statement on Saturday by its National Publicity Secretary, Emmanuel Yahweh, said that the body received reports of an attack by Yoruba youths on the Seriki Fulani in Oyo State, Alhaji Salihu Abdul Kadir. Now, it said in the report that he was attacked and driven out of his house, 11 cars and his house burnt, with his family members now living in the bush. The statement said there were allegations that one Sunday Igboho, an agitator for the Oodua Republic and who issued an ultimatum giving Fulani people 7 days to leave Yoruba land, was the instigator of the attack. The ACF said most disturbing aspect of the attack was the allegation that the security agents who were earlier warned about its imminence stood by helplessly as the attack was carried out. It said the ACF, I beg your pardon, was worried about this trend and called on the federal and state governments in the southwest to move quickly to avert a social upheaval that might destabilize the whole country. The ACF said those who carry out these attacks must be apprehended and that the due process of the law allowed to take its course. It warned, and it's quoted as saying, and I quote, "If this is not done, there may be counterattacks in the north and the country will be up in flames. The authorities must act. The ACF is very worried and calls on them to act fast." Staying with developments in the southwestern part of Nigeria, residents and some monarchs of Ketu-speaking areas and villages in Yelwa North local government area, Ogun State, have lamented that they were brutalized by soldiers who escorted herdsmen to graze in their communities. In separate interviews with journalists, the residents narrated that the soldiers, numbering about 10, flogged them for daring to prevent the herdsmen from grazing within their village. It was learned that one of the residents, identified simply as Mulero, was beaten mercilessly, leaving him with serious injuries for insisting that the herdsmen would not be allowed to graze. It was also gathered that the traditional rulers were beaten after they were forced to convoke a meeting. According to them, the herdsmen who had departed the village after their continued presence was rejected, suddenly reappeared with 2 p.m. by about 2 p.m. on December 19, 2021, with the soldiers from the 35th Artillery Brigade, Amala, Abeokuta. The soldiers headed straight to the palace of the traditional ruler of the community, Chief Olaileye Adigun, calling out the villagers and warning them against preventing and evicting herdsmen from returning to the village. It was in the middle of this strange encounter that the soldiers were told that the herders would not be allowed to remain in the community because of their brutal killings of residents and the destruction of their farmlands in recent times. Also, indigents of Ishelu, Ibeku, Agbo, Ojodu, Asa, and other villages were also harassed and assaulted by soldiers at the instance of the Fulani headsmen. Narrating their experience in a petition, the traditional ruler said the headsmen confirmed that they invited the soldiers to intimidate, harass, and beat them. More developments after the break. This is your digital first Pan-African network. You are watching News 360. Thanks for staying with us. We are going straight to reports where the Central African Republic, CAR, has declared a state of emergency as the army and United Nations forces try to repel advancing rebel groups who want to overthrow the government. The anti-government fighters, who now control 2/3 of the country, have surrounded the capital, Bangui. The UN envoy to the Central African Republic has warned that the country was at a grave risk. The rebels dispute the validity of President Faustin Archange Touadéra's re-election in last month's polls. The authorities have accused former President Francois Boazizi, who was blocked from running in the 27 December election, for the escalating violence. Boazizi, who came to power in 2003 before he was overthrown in 2013, has denied the allegations. According to the UN agency, Children's UNICEF, at least 200,000 civilians have been directly affected by the fighting since December, and at least half of the number remain displaced from their homes. Government spokesman Albert Yaloke Mkpokbe says the state of emergency declared on Thursday evening will last for 15 days, adding that soldiers will be allowed to make arrests without going through prosecution. According to reports, many residents of the capital are not surprised at the state of emergency, given the deteriorating security situation in recent weeks. While security sources say the declaration was a necessary step after information obtained from the people arrested in the last few days suggested there was an imminent threat to the government. Now, more developments as U.S. President Joseph Biden is pushing on with his plan to get 100 million Americans inoculated for COVID-19 during his first 100 days in office. But several states say their vaccine supply is dwindling and there aren't enough sites to administer them. Now, Jennifer Johnson looks at the race against time amid the threat of new and more contagious strains of the virus. This is your digital first Pan-African network, TOS TV. You are watching TOS News Track. Still ahead, business and sports. Do stay with us. Now, Nigeria's central bank has announced the prohibition of all Nigerian exporters who are yet to repatriate their export proceeds from banking services effective of January 31st, 2021. The Apex Bank had in an earlier circular warned that failure to repatriate exports within 90 days for oil and gas and 180 days for non-oil exports constitute a breach of the extant regulation. Analysts believe that the directive is a part of a monetary control mechanism by policy makers to maintain relative stability in the exchange rate, especially after the pandemic created a wide disparity between the official exchange and the parallel market rate, eliminating incidents of over-invoicing, transfer pricing, double handling charges. Now, according to Bloomberg sources, the new directive applies to exports up till June late last year. Now, in a bid to ensure prudent use of foreign exchange resources, the Central Bank of Nigeria had earlier instructed authorized dealers and exporters to only open forms for letters of credit, bills for collection, and other forms of payment. Now, away from business, we go to sports, where Nigeria's representative in the ongoing CAF Confederations Cup, Rivers United, expectedly completed a double over South Africa's Bloemfontein Celtic in a rescheduled first round clash, which they won 3-0 playing away from home at the Star Charles de Gaulle, Port Novo, on Saturday. Now, the win brings Rivers United's aggregate victory to 5-0, having also won the first leg last December by 2-0. The win now pairs Rivers United against fellow Nigerian club side Enyimba for a place in the group stages. In the tie with Bloemfontein Celtic, Godwin Aguda opened scoring for Rivers United very early in the match to set the tone for what the final outcome became. Now, later in the first half, he doubled the lead before Fortune Omoniwari scored the third goal. Eyimba will host Rivers United in Aba on February 14th, while the reverse leg will hold in Port Harcourt a week later. And that's it on TOS News Track, your digital first Pan-African network. For more updates, visit our website, www.tostvnetwork.com. Do follow and like TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube page. Now, TOS TV is also available on TSTV as TOS News on channel 138. Do stay with us and enjoy more programs on TOS TV Network. Bye for now.
But we as a continent have now